All right, guys. So I caught this pretty interesting clip of Kasparian chiming in on the Cam Newton drama from earlier this week when he went on a podcast and gave his preference for women. And his preference was a traditional woman who knows how to cook, clean, not speak, at certain times, play the more traditional role, right? Support and cater to her man. And this triggered a whole lot of woke feminists and simps out there because they can't stand the idea of a man having standards for women, even though the modern woman has so many standards for men, right? We all know what the standards are, guys. I mean, you got to be over 6 foot, you got to have a six pack, you got to make over 6 figures, you got to have a big penis, etc., right? You got to have all that. And if you don't, then you're trash, right? Men are trash. How many times have you heard that from a woke feminist? However, you don't have men out here breaking down in tears and calling women sexist and all types of names because they have standards for us, right? Most men just level up, right? We just step up our game, do what we got to do to provide for our families. But hey, if a man has any standards whatsoever for a woman, then he's a sexist bigot who is a relic of the past, right? He's stuck in the past. He's living in the old days. So with that being said, Kasparian, again, is going to chime in on this because she feels like she needs to as a woke progressive feminist, and she's going to give the biggest straw man argument I've ever seen in my life for what Cam Newton is actually saying. And I want to respond to it because I just think it's hilarious. So let's go ahead and get into this.
I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Yeah, this is where NFL quarterback Cam Newton thinks women are interested in hearing his thoughts on females. We'll respond to it in just a moment. It's about to get good.
Okay.
A bad bitch is a person who's just, girl, I'm a bad bitch. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Yes, the big boy in the video that we just watched is Cam Newton. He is an NFL quarterback, for those of you who don't follow the NFL. He's currently a free agent, but I'm not really interested in talking about his sports career. I am interested in addressing what he said in that video because he seems to think that he is God's gift to women and that, he has the ability to pass judgment on women who don't fulfill certain roles that he feels they need to fulfill.
Now, first thing I want to say is this. I don't think that Cam Newton thinks he's God's gift to women. I think he's very well aware that the man got 6, 7, 8 kids, right? I mean, hey, he's made some bad decisions. But I think what he's saying is that for him, right, and what he brings to the table, his role as a provider, and the man can provide, even though he doesn't have a job anymore, or at least right now, I mean, it's probably sitting on millions and millions and millions of dollars, hopefully if he spends his money right. Yeah, for him and what he needs a more traditional woman. He doesn't need a woman that, plays the modern feminist role, that has a job and, brings in the money as well too. He doesn't need that. But, let's keep listening here.
And so in this rant, he's decided to essentially say that, look, women need to serve me, okay? And if they're not serving me, then they're really useless.
That's not what he said at all. When did he say that? He never said that at all. He simply gave a preference for him. But see, again, this is what I'm talking about. This is the biggest straw man I've ever seen in my life. The man did not say that at all.
And he equates so-called bad bitches with women who might feel empowered to pursue non-traditional roles in society.
No, he didn't do that either. What he was getting at when it comes to bad bees is women who don't bring anything to the table except a piece of ass, right? He was talking about women that look the part but don't act the part, right? Anna didn't pick up on that. He was more talking about looks, okay? And being like, hey, I look good as a woman, therefore I deserve everything in the world. I can have the highest standards possible for a man. And he has to bring everything to the table that I want, but I don't have to bring anything to the table except looking good and, occasionally laying down and open my legs, right? That's what the modern bad bee is, right? That's what they expect. That's what they do, right? And that is what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure he's dealt with a whole lot of those types Okay, he's probably got some of those types pregnant, right? I'm just saying. And Anna's probably salty about this. She's probably a little hurt because she probably used to consider herself a bad bee before she got married. Who knows? Maybe she still does. But allegedly, Jimmy Dore, the guy that TYT is beefing with, the progressive, he said that Anna Kasparian used to come in to work at the Young Turks with these short skirts on with her ass out everywhere, right? And they actually made jokes and told her, hey, look, you need to pull your skirt down, right? So she probably saw herself as one of those and probably got a little triggered. But Kim is not saying that women can't have non-traditional roles at all. He's just saying what he prefers. But again, like I'm telling you guys, in today's society, among woke feminists, it is a sin for a man to have any expectations or preferences for women.
He's not in favor of that. And he elaborates on that in this clip. Let's watch.
And it's a lot of women who are bad bitches. And I say bitches in a way not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that, no, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
No, you guys get it? Like the super mature grown-up man with a superhero t-shirt and a goofy hat is telling us how women need to act. So notice he said, women can they should be handling their own thing, meaning they should work, they should be independent, they should be able to survive independently in this insane economy.
That's not what he said at all. When did he say that? He's not saying that. He's actually saying really the exact opposite, okay? Because Anna, she doesn't understand what a traditional woman is, okay? Because she's not, right? Her husband doesn't want that out of her, okay? I don't know what they got going on here. Again, I feel bad for the guy. But anyways, what Cam is describing is a woman that can basically take care of the house, okay? Take care of the kids, cook, clean, can support him in ways that he needs to be supported as an athlete, somebody who is the breadwinner, okay? And, again, for all these women out here that claim they want people like Cam Newton, okay, minus the kids, right? You want the money, you want the looks, you want the status, you want all that stuff, right? That you want out of a man. That type of man is gonna want a more traditional woman, right? That type of man doesn't need a modern woman that is bringing in her own money and that wants to be a bad bee and that is independent and all that. They don't need that, right? They don't need a woman like that, okay? What they need is somebody to support them and what they're doing, right? And that is what Cam is describing. But again, she can't understand that. She can't process that, right, at all. She has no clue what he's actually talking about. That's why she's strawmanning the guy, okay?
But that's not good enough for this catch, Cam Newton, okay? You need to be able to bring him his slippers when he comes home from work. You need to be cooking for him. You need to be his personal servant. Because if you're not, then you ain't a woman.
Nah, that's not what he's saying. He's describing a partner, right? And for what he wants, his partner needs to play a certain role, a traditional role. Okay, see, again, these people love to play the language game here and try to make it seem like what Cam Newton's saying is that he wants a slave. No, nobody's saying he wants a slave. He's saying, for me, again, I want somebody that is going to play the role to best help maximize what I'm doing, right? The role that I play as the provider, right? And for him, what that entails is a more traditional woman. That is a partnership. He's not saying he wants a slave, a woman that's going to be at his every waking call. For somebody like him, he probably can buy a maid, okay? But again, he's looking for a partner that is going to complement him, okay? That's what he's looking for. But again, if you describe that partnership that you're looking for in women and you say roles and expectations that are more traditional, again, they're going to try to say that you want a slave when that's not necessarily the case.
What's missing in this exchange, in this conversation is, what the hell does Cam Newton offer to his female partners?
Kind of a whole lot, and to be quite honest with you. Again, take out the 7 kids, okay, and the baby mamas. He kind of offers a whole lot, let's be real.
Oh, that's right. Actually, no, I do know what he offers to his female partners. In fact, when his longtime girlfriend was pregnant with their 4th child, turns out he cheated on her and got another woman pregnant. Is that what a big boy does?
No, it's not. But at the same time, that still doesn't mean that he wouldn't be a catch. I mean, I'm just saying that's wrong. But in the day, I mean, I think that he still can have expectations for what he wants in a woman.
Is that something to be proud of? See, here's the thing. We all make mistakes and we all have our flaws and our vices. But for him to sit there as a guy who got his side chick pregnant as his longtime girlfriend was pregnant with his 4th child, how about you shut up? How about you learn when to shut up? And look, Cam Newton has a history of this. In fact, why don't we go to this next video? This is from a press conference where a female sports reporter asks him a sports-related question. Just take a look at how he responded to her.
I know you take a lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny.
It's funny to hear a goofball think that his opinion about women and how they should behave matters.
She's so triggered, bro. She's so upset. She is so upset by this. I don't understand, bro. I don't understand. I really don't understand the outrage from when he said that as well, too. Like, I get it, okay? But I also, it's just like, bro, it's kind of harmless, man. It's kind of harmless. I think it's funny, too, to watch women attempt to talk about football, okay? Like, I really do think it's hilarious. But, hey, if they want to do that, they want to do that. I'm not trying to advocate that they can't be reporters. Now, I'm advocating that they shouldn't be in the male locker room. I will advocate for that. But if they want to sit on TV and attempt to talk about football, fine. I'm going to let capitalism do its work, right? Ask ESPN how that's working out.
It seems like he's super uncomfortable being around empowered women. That's what it really comes across. Because if you watch that press conference, we're dealing with a female sports reporter who's asking a perfectly fine question, can't handle it. And apparently, women who like to think of themselves or refer to themselves as boss bitches also makes him incredibly uncomfortable. And he somehow finds something to criticize them for. And in his mind, the inability to wait on him as if you're his indentured servant makes you less of a woman.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. I just find it fascinating. All the outrage over a man simply stating, hey man, I got a preference for, a traditional woman that can cook, can clean, do all the stuff that, traditional women do. I find it fascinating how people get outraged by this stuff. It really blows my mind.
And again, saying all of this while he's sitting there with a superhero t-shirt and a goofy hat with the kind of history he has with his own love interests.
So are you trying to say that as a man, he's expected to dress a certain way, right? As a man, he's expected to carry himself a certain way. So are you assigning expectations to Cam Newton, right? Does that make you sexist, Anna Kasparian? I think it does, to have expectations, according to you. It also seems like she has a big issue with the fact that the man got kids, okay? So if that's the case, if you have issues with that, that means that you expect him not to have so many kids, right? So as a man, if I say, hey, I got an issue with baby mamas, with women that have a bunch of kids, that's fair game, right? That's fair game. If I start bringing that up and saying that that's a bad trait, right, and using that against a woman, that's fair game. That should be fair game. I guarantee you Anna Kasparian would agree with that, right? She would say it's bad for a man to knock a woman for having kids out of wedlock, right? Or being a single baby mama. I guarantee you.
Yeah, not interested in hearing what you have to say about women. And by the way, like for any like chauvinists out there who listen to what he says, like, yeah, he totally gets it, man, totally gets it, yeah. Okay, so what do you do to help your female partners? Because if a woman is expected to work earn a living, be independent in this economy, or
he's not expecting that though. That's what you don't get. That's what you don't get, right? She does not understand that. She thinks that he's expecting his woman to work. That's not what he's expecting, right? She really thinks that Cam Newton is saying, I want my woman to do everything. Look, I want her to work, cook, clean, mow the grass, do everything, okay? And she has to also be my slave. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying, again, they don't understand this, is that I have a certain role as a man, as a preacher, provider, protector, right? That's my role. And the woman, I want a woman that complements those roles, right? And to play her role, okay? She doesn't need to provide. She doesn't need to protect. She doesn't need to preach. That's all for me. What I need her to do is to play the roles that will maximize my ability to do those things, okay? Which primarily is for taking care of the family. But again, she does not comprehend this. She cannot comprehend it.
in a relationship, and then also come home and do the cooking and cleaning. What about all the roles that, because women are engaging in all sorts of untraditional roles, which I'm in favor of, right? Unfortunately, a lot of women don't have a choice. You don't have a choice to abstain from working. You don't have the choice to be a stay-at-home mom. You need a dual income household in order to survive in this economy.
And that's fine, right? That's fine. There's a lot of marriages and relationships that women work, okay? And the partners, they work out what roles they want to play, okay? Who's going to do what? Some people split the household chores. Some people do this, some people do that. But again, in his specific situation, for what he brings to the table, he can expect his woman to do things that are more traditional and to stay more traditional. Now, I would concede that in today's society and today's economy, it's not necessarily ideal from an economic perspective for just the man to work, unless the man is making a significant amount of money. So yeah, a lot of times you do have households where both parents, where the man and the woman are both working, okay? And again, in a situation like that, it's up to them to decide what roles they want to play. Nothing wrong with that. Again, that's called preference, right?
So since women are forced in many cases to get out in the workforce, leave their kids at a daycare or with family members in order to do that, what's Cam Newton doing? Is he engaging in any of the untraditional male roles to ensure that there's some fairness in his relationships? But that's a silly conversation to have, considering he cheated on his pregnant girlfriend and got another girl pregnant as his girlfriend was pregnant.
Bro, she stuck on that, bro. She stuck on that, man. Wow. It was bad, but look, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
That's who Cam Newton is. And he's giving women advice on how to act. How about you shut up?
Thanks for watching the.
Oh my God, that is hilarious, bro. Again, it's a sin in today's society for a man to have any preferences. If you have preferences as a man, then, hey, you're a sexist, you're a bigot, you hate women, blah, blah, blah. But, women can have all these standards, right? And, it's totally fine, right? You got to upgrade and love yourself up as a man to meet those standards, or else, you're trash, right? You're trash. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.